Oh, we're live. Good morning to every one of you watching us right now. As we speak to you now, this program is aired on and streamed live on our Facebook and YouTube handles. First, most we want to say a happy independence to every one of us. As we celebrate our 60th anniversary as a nation, we believe that we have emerged stronger. And as a group, NASCO Group, we have involved with the Nigerian people, and we deem it right as part of our corporate social responsibility to, as much as we can, get in touch with our people and felicitate with you. It is with this great feeling that we want to host this event where we're going to be looking into the brand NASCO. And to discuss with us this morning is Barrister Haruna Audu Harun. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Stephen. Happy Independence Anniversary. From Ghana, from where I am in the Cape Coast, Ghana, let me say Akwaba. Happy Independence Anniversary to Nigerians.
Happy Independence to you, to all of us. NASCO Group is one of the largest fast-moving consumer goods manufacturer in Nigeria and in the West African sub-region. We are headquartered in Jos, Plateau State, and the company manufactures and distributes an array of products in the foods, household categories. We pride ourselves as one of the biggest and the largest, not only in Nigeria, but across the West Africa and Africa sub-region. We produce superior products in a manner that is consistent with the highest standard of corporate behavior. We place consumers at the center of everything we do. And we do that because, as a company that stands out for quality. So, Barrister, I just want us to give us an insight into this name, NASCO. How did it start? What brought about, what was the drive behind starting this company, NASCO, in the first place?
Okay, you're asking me, once again, good morning, fellow countrymen and women. It's a pleasure to be alive and to participate in this very important platform put together by Nigeria's iconic NASCO group of companies. We're grateful to God that we can celebrate the 60th anniversary despite the very real challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. To answer your question, let me confess upfront, I always like to become a liability. I know something about NASCO Group and its origins. I don't have the full information why the name NASCO, but I do know that the founder of NASCO is a very decent gentleman called Mr. Ahmed Nasruddin. So I think from the name, you can see that perhaps the first letters of his name, the family name, must have been the reason for the name NAS company, NASCO. And let us remember, NASCO started in 1963 as a jute bag factory. If you were born in Jos like me, you will know that it was one of the busiest companies in the city at that time. It was called NASCO Fiber Factory. The history behind it is linked, and this is an important point to make. The history of Nigeria cannot be divorced from the history of NASCO. The story is that just before independence in 1960, our founding fathers from the northern part of the country were very keen to harness the then very exciting agriculture and lavish agricultural produce of the country, of the northern part of the country, harnessing it for not just domestic use, but also international export. And just before independence, it is reported that a couple of our founding fathers met the founder of NASCO, who was then, has always been associated with the diplomatic community. They met and was invited to consider setting up a jute bag factory that will meet our needs for cotton bagging, for groundnut bagging, and other agriculture products, so that these can meet the then international specifications for exports. And that is a story, from what I gathered, that brought about the institution or the setting up of NASCO, if you will. He had the opportunity, Mr. Ahmed Nasruddin had the opportunity to plan this, to position this company in any part of the north. He chose Jos. I think for obvious reasons. Jos is a fantastic place to be. It used to be. I pray it will continue to be. So this is the story that he accepted to come to Nigeria and set up the NASCO fiber factory in Jos. And like I said, if you were born in Jos like me, I'm a post-independence baby. I grew up seeing that indeed NASCO fiber factory was a place that offered job opportunities to thousands of thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of people, if you go back into the record. And just about everybody who had reason to come from any rural area to the city center for maybe a month or two ended up doing a vacation job of sorts or in NASCO. So NASCO has impacted lives of millions of people in a manner that you wouldn't know. And as we see today, from a jute bag factory, it is now the conglomerate that you described in your introductory statement. So this is the bit I can tell you about.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, now from jute bag factory to other factories. At what point did NASCO diversify into other categories, and why?
Okay, so I don't have the dates readily at the top of my head, but I can tell you that one of the famous ones that followed the fiber factory was the NASCO household products. Again, Nigeria knew about the bags that were coming out of the fiber factory and serving the bagging of agriculture produce for international export. But within, I think, a decade or so, from 1963 when the fiber factory was established, we saw the coming on board of the NASCO household products. And one of its flagship products back in the day still is, I can see it right behind you there, is Britex detergent. And Britex is a story, is also the story of Nigeria. The story of Britex is the story of Nigeria. I don't think there's any part of the country that did not encounter the NASCO Britex detergent. And so the NASCO household was set up to produce detergents and other associated products that we know have come to service industry, particularly products from the petrochemical sector. But shortly thereafter too, I think they took advantage of the relevance of our agriculture as a foundation of our economy in several respects. And we saw the setting up of NASCO Foods. Again, NASCO Foods, NASCO Biscuits, NASCO Cornflakes. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And these are products that millions of Nigerians, there's an entire, I think there's about 2 generations in this country as we speak that have been born and weaned and have enjoyed biscuits from NASCO Foods, the NASCO Cornflake itself, and so on and so forth. So this is the story of their growth. And along the line, we do know that they diversified again. NASCO Pack, as you well know, is, as we speak in the north, I don't think there's a packaging company that has survived the difficult economic environment. And this is something you can say about the entire NASCO Group itself, because if you just reflect back 25 years, 30 years ago, how many production manufacturing outfits were in Jos? As we speak, very few of them are alive. Many have gone comatose. Many have closed down, and jobs and families have been negatively impacted thereby. But the story of NASCO has been one of consistency. NASCO has survived all this time. The reason is the promoter, the founder, the owners have determined that come rain or shine, we're here to continue to invest, not just in the Nigerian economy, but in the lives of our people. Remember, our payoff line is providing the quality life. And that's, this quality life is all encompassing. So yes, packaging became another arm that was created. So we have NASCO Pack, where all manner of packages are produced, and we're serving industry across the country with the quality packages that come out of NASCO Pack. Of course, we have seen what has happened to NASCO properties. Many people don't really know that in the course of the last half a century and counting, NASCO has invested in real estate and has been a big player contributing to provisioning of housing for people, especially in Jos. And this is a story that needs to be told, because NASCO Properties is a very quiet company, but it's doing a lot in housing provision. So recently I was appointed, not recently, about 6 months, maybe more. I had the opportunity to become a member of the Economic and Investment Summit Committee of the Plateau State Government. And we're discussing housing. And you keep hearing people talking about the absence of private sector intervention. It kind of escaped me because I needed to rebut that argument. I make the point that NASCO has been a player investing in real estate development, and many people who lived in Jos and continue to live in Jos will tell you that but for NASCO, they wouldn't have the kind of quality housing access that they have. So NASCO is also big in housing. And of course, lately, because the fiber factory has closed down, we know that NASCO Logistics, a recently created platform that took over the assets of NASCO Fiber, is now a hub for supporting the very important work that the federal government of Nigeria is doing in the Northeast region together with development partners. So whether it is Red Cross, the World Food Program, agencies of the United Nations, many of them are using NASCO Logistics in Jos because it is well done. It is a top quality location with facilities, the internal roads, the water, services, electricity. And many people passing through the Raving area, I'm sure, keep wondering, what's going on with these huge trucks coming in and out every 20, 30 minutes? These trucks are moving logistics on behalf of international groups that are supporting rehabilitation and work in the Northeast region. And the premises that used to be known as NASCO Fiber is now NASCO Logistics. I'm not the brainwave of the NASCO owners in terms of providing quality as far as logistics provisioning is concerned. So let me stop here. Maybe you have anything to ask.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very, very much. From what you've told us now, we could see that NASCO has diversified into various aspects of the Nigerian economical sector. We find NASCO in packaging, we find them in real estate, and all of that. Tell us a little bit more about the hospitality business.
Okay, so it does appear that many people don't know that NASCO has been in the hospitality business for over 3 decades. NASCO has owned and operated a hotel in Europe for almost 3 decades now. And it's called NASCO Hotel and it's in Milan, in Italy. And the owners of NASCO, because of the nature of their different relationships, have recently come together under a different group. So the only thing that might link you up with that between those two groups is when you look at their logos. Otherwise, the founders and the investors in NASCO founded another company that for the past 20, 30 years has been involved in construction, not just in Nigeria, but nationally, delivering construction and building projects in parts of, especially the Middle East, where, you know, the economies of United Arab Emirates, Dubai have continued to flourish. and parts of Saudi Arabia. And today, they are able to do the same in Nigeria. This same company, it's called NASCO, it's called Royal Pacific Group. Royal Pacific Group recently completed, so about 3 years ago now or so, and counting, completed one of the most exciting and beautiful hospitality projects in the federal capital. Some may have heard of Fraser Suites, some may have not. Some listening to us today. Fraser Suites is a Singaporean brand, and it is an international brand. It is huge in Europe. It's big in Asia. It's part of the Middle East. And together with Royal Pacific Group, they have delivered Fraser's first brand in Africa. It's located in Abuja, and is the same vision of the founder of NASCO, the chairman of the group, the current chairman of the group, Dr. Atiya Nasruddin, and the executive directors, who are also investors in Royal Pacific Group. They have midwife Fraser Suites Abuja. So I have said it tongue-in-cheek. People think I say it, and they think I'm speaking tongue-in-cheek. But the fact is, there is no hotel in Nigeria like Fraser Suites Abuja. There is none. And I don't even want to mention the so-called competition, because mentioning them in the same sentence with Fraser Suites would be doing a disservice to Fraser Suites, given the type of quality, the type of finish, the type of even our guest profile in Fraser Suites as we speak. It's unrivaled in the country. I don't want to begin to name the people who have visited us from an international perspective, who will choose us as a destination. Well, I can say it's for those who are Twitter lovers. For example, Jack Dorsey was our guest. And for those who follow Alibaba from China, Jack Ma, when they came to Nigeria, they chose to stay with Fraser Suites. It tells you something. The story of the founder of NASCO and his team till date, and the kind of investments they are making, resonates not just nationally, continentally, but internationally. So with just a click, people get to know that NASCO, the story of NASCO with the Nigerian story are linked, and NASCO's trajectory has been a trajectory of competence, a trajectory of quality delivery, a trajectory of investment in the lives of the people, employment provisioning. Just the other day, I was having a private conversation with someone who worked in NASCO in the 80s. I remember he said to me that if you scratch the surface in Jos, take Jos and parts of the neighboring states of Nasarawa, Benue, part of Taraba, Kaduna, Bauchi, neighboring states of Kaduna, Bauchi, and even as far as Gombe. He said to me, you're going to find that close to 70% of families may have been impacted directly, indirectly, by the presence of NASCO in Jos. And I think that's even an underestimation. NASCO's story is the story of Nigeria.
This reminds me of somebody who once said, he described NASCO as a tree, meaning that when you come to Jos, you discover that you find out of a family of 5, okay, you find 1 or 2% who must have interacted with NASCO, either as an employee, or by any other form. Now, Abosede, I don't know if you could see one of the comments that we just received. Abosede is saying, "Wow, nice. Never knew this, and I'm in Jos." Abosede, this is why we are hosting this program, just so that a lot of you will become more aware of what NASCO stands for. It's not just about the product, but NASCO is about providing you with a quality life. Thank you so much. And in the spirit of Nigeria's 60th independence, we are hosting Barrister Harun, a marketing communication consultant, and also the marketing communication advisor to NASCO Group. It's still a pleasure having you around, Barrister.
Thank you, Stephen. I think you made a point we need to stress. Okay. How NASCO has impacted communities, families. One other area that we need to highlight is many people know the old Jos main market, that there's an ongoing, even if it's a snail's speed attempt to bring it back on board. The most iconic pedestrian bridge that connected parts of the city with the main market, you didn't want to dash across the road by the popular terminus area, was built by NASCO, and it's one of the most solid pedestrian bridge ever built. I know it's still standing. Some people have actually converted into a market space now. Now, that's just one. Now, imagine what has happened to places like the Plateau State Polytechnic, the University of Jos, the communities of Holshire, Angulu, Jos, right up to Dadinkowa, the kind of interventions NASCO has had to drive from not just food provisioning, but also health intervention. I'm aware that my sister Fatima Suleiman, who is with the Federal College of Forestry, has year in, year out received of NASCO to engage with provisioning of health facilitation for young children and women and widows and orphans. And it's because NASCO is investing in that regard. Just this year, during, and immediately in the aftermath of the Ramadan, people in Niger State, through our good friend Sheikh Lemu, benefited from the massive multi-million interventions that NASCO provided to people during the Ramadan period. Just at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, Nigerians are aware because it was all over the place. And if you missed that, we do know that NASCO dispatched from Jos countless trucks loaded with food items and detergents to the Federal Capital Territory, to Lagos, Ogun State, to Benue, Borno State, to make sure that the common word that became popular then was palliatives. These palliatives were made available free of charge. Millions of Nigerians again. This is the type of corporate social intervention NASCO is doing. Sometimes people accuse us of not really talking about it as much as we should. Yes, we participate in the corporate environment. We do know that you need to make these statements. But also we respect the notion that when you're giving a gift, it's not always that you want your left hand to know what your right hand is doing. Because at the end of the day, it's the people who are benefiting that will tell the story, not us. And these stories of interventions have been massive. I can take you to sports. Today, one of the in Jos is about being revived. And I'm aware later this afternoon there's going to be a polo match. The history of polo in Jos is the history of NASCO. The longest running trophy in Jos Polo Club in its annual tournaments in NASCO Cup. And NASCO has invested in polo for almost 40 years. NASCO is invested. I remember growing up as a student in Bako College, Zaria. I'll come from Zaria on holidays. I tell you that I knew that the biggest lawn tennis tournament, our Roland Garros, was at the Plateau Club. And the consistent sponsor was NASCO Group of companies. I'm happy that the managing director of NASCO in the 80s is currently in the country, Octogenarian gentleman, Mr. Saleh Nasruddin. It was during his time that lawn tennis became very big in Jos because NASCO was backing it. And we have now gone into even cycling, and that's going to be happening today again. We know about that because NASCO owns what's called the Red Crown cycling team. But you can also remember the story of football, soccer. There used to be a team called NASCO Jets. That team still exists today, by the way, with this iconic name of Mighty Jets. NASCO took over Mighty Jets and took it to high heights, and it was called NASCO Jets at the time. When you just look across the environment of sports, education, health, name it, NASCO has backed every one of these sectors because of its belief and conviction that Nigerian people and the Nigerian economy, no matter the difficulties, must continue to thrive. And they will only thrive if businesses are run with the integrity required, with the transparency required, with the ability, with the competencies that are required, and it will make for long-term survival. I don't want to, I'm not saying this to cast aspersions, but we do know that some of the companies that pre-existed NASCO and those of them that came on board together, and those that came thereafter and have all gone now, there is a question mark as to management principles. NASCO has survived this long because integrity, transparency, and the discharge of its obligations to stakeholders has been paramount and key.
Okay, I was just about to ask what the driving force is for NASCO, but you mentioned integrity and honesty and all of that. Now let me ask you, what is the corporate social responsibility philosophy of NASCO, and what's its relationship with its immediate community?
Well, you know, I mentioned some of the stuff NASCO has done, and so it's all encompassing in the corporate social responsibility drive, or if you like, interventions, and it speaks to the philosophy of the company. Our immediate community should be our primary concern. But if you look at the terrain, the Nigerian that NASCO is playing in, it's the entire Nigerian setting. So we are engaging and intervening. NASCO is engaging and intervening in many of these settings across the country. I am aware that one of the key things a corporate entity tries to do is to build and optimize, especially its staff. So we need to mention the fact that the survival story, the progressively surviving story of NASCO is hinged on the fact that NASCO has invested very well and heavily on its internal staff. And so it's a destination for many people who want to come to work. And for those who are already there, there is this commitment to the work environment, knowing that this is a company that keeps its promises, not just to the internal staff, but also to the communities around. So they're able to see that the communities from which they come, NASCO has been able to link up with them and provide those communities with all kinds of amenities. And the same token, NASCO is a destination for employment provision. So the corporate social responsibility philosophy taking the need to intervene in communities, but also those communities become the feeder from which NASCO can source its staff. If you go to our Lagos office, same story. If you go to the Northeast, same story. Central Nigeria, same story. You go to Kano, Northeast, Northwest, the same story. In each location, we are engaging with the communities, but also our marketing staff, our sales team are people who belong there, and they know that they have a stake. And this again reflects the secret, if you like, of NASCO survival.
Interesting. Now we know of other organizations or manufacturers who import, for instance, in the cereal business, who import their raw materials outside the country. Now, tell us your source of raw material, especially for conflicts, and your relationship with the local farmers.
You know, when I was discussing this engagement with communities, it floated through my mind that we cannot discuss completely the exploits of NASCO conflicts as a leading Nigerian, West African brand without bringing on board the very exciting and very productive relationship that NASCO Foods has with farmers from the immediate communities of Mangu, Bakos, Kaduna State. Essentially because when people sit back in their homes and enjoy NASCO conflicts, we want them to remember that as much as you want to say thank you to NASCO, please a silent prayer for these thousands of farmers who continue to produce the type of maize. So clear. NASCO conflicts is made from a very peculiar type of yellow maize of a particular size. And we have been partnering with farmers, supporting them with supplements, extension services, training, and they are in turn, many of them in turn are also paying us back in terms of the quality of produce that we get from them. And so when you look at conflicts and people speak about how exciting it is, how the quality has remained, in fact, in the last couple of years, has not just, we have optimized the quality with the new technology that is in place for flaking. And so you see that people need to understand that we are partners with a whole range of farming communities. And this partnership is yielding a win-win situation for everybody. Consider the fact that we support them, they're able to farm during the appropriate seasons, we pay them for off-taking, and their economic condition, the cycle of their economic condition is assured, is secured, because these farmers are also, in fact, very unable to meet our, because we're producing. The Nigerian consumer market for conflicts is hungry for NASCO conflicts. And so, as we speak, there is an ongoing effort to do some pilots, partner with even some certain institutions who have access to large acres of land, a partnership that will yield more produce, but at the same time add value to those communities, because once that happens, many more farmers in those locations where these entity-owned farms will begin to be part of it, will be integrated into the farming arrangement. So they will be earning a livelihood, they will be selling to NASCO, and the cycle will continue to grow, because for as long as Nigerians are consuming conflicts, and they're consuming it by the dozens, for as long as we will continue to partner with farmers to make sure we don't disappoint them.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic in the earlier part of the year, let's say, I think March, April, May, we see a lot of interventions from private organizations here and there. What role did NASCO play, and to what extent? This, what I mean in the states. I'm
not sure if you heard me.
Okay.
I'm not sure you heard, but I actually enumerated all those interventions. But I'm happy to repeat them, because it's important that we let our participants in this conversation this morning also understand that the COVID-19 pandemic and the disruptions that it introduced meant many more people who will ordinarily eke out their living on a daily basis lost out. We that the federal government and state governments immediately started to unfold the distribution of what is now commonly known as palliatives. NASCO Group was not left behind. As I speak, NASCO Group has distributed palliatives made up of its household and detergent products, so foods, soaps, especially hand wash, because today NASCO is one of the biggest producers of the best quality hand wash, dishwash in the country. These were put together in the immediate aftermath of the disruptions of COVID-19, and we have delivered these items to Lagos State, to Ogun State. If you remember, these were the epicenters of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the Federal Capital Territory. And tons of these items, food items and household items, were delivered. We've also done the same in Borno State for specific reasons. We know the challenges of the Borno area, what with the insurgents, and NASCO has always been a key player in the economy of Borno State. So COVID-19 also made it possible. We responded to that, and NASCO products in their tons were again internally displaced persons, camps, orphans, and widows. Same has been done in Kano. In Jos, just about every community surrounding NASCO, so I speak of Holshe, JIB, Dadinkoa communities, Anglo Jos, the leading hospitals in Jos, Plateau State Hospital, Bingham University Hospital, Jos University Teaching Hospital, and some private hospitals in certain neighborhoods of the state, including orphanages and houses where widows are kept. all these places received some intervention from NASCO in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a good thing, by the way. So just so you know, because we continue to receive requests. Just the other day, I think a request came from the wife of the governor of Benue State. And her special advisor who spoke to us said, look, Benue, Plateau, and Nasarawa are one. So whatever NASCO is doing in Jos should extend to Nasarawa and Benue. I smile because I'm happy that these bonds of the one state now split into three have not really been broken. So NASCO is really much more than people are seeing, but we are glad to do it because the story of NASCO is a story of quality project.
Interesting. I think we'll just take a few comments so that we see what our viewers are saying. This is Nwinze Inkiri saying NASCO conflicts has no comparison, quality conflicts to full of nourishment. Thank you very much, Nwinze. We appreciate your comments. Then this is also from Fatima Ibrahim. Fatima Ibrahim is saying NASCO really tried in distributing effective palliatives. Thank you very much, Fatima. Then this is somebody, okay, this is Malawi. Malawi is saying NASCO is a trailblazer, an entity whose consistency over the decades has placed Nigeria and indeed Africa prominently in the global map as a hub for fast-moving consumer goods. Thank you very much, Sylvester. We exist because of our people like you, and we're not relenting. Let's take a few more before we proceed. Happy Independence. This is the same Fatima. The of particular reference is this particular person who says Britex detergent is the Britex the best detergent. It takes proper care of colored and white fabrics. Thank you very much, Ogumba, and we are committed. We are poised to doing even more than you all expect. Now, NASCO was recently recognized among the first 100 most admired brand in Africa. Tell us about this recognition.
I'm not sure it's a surprise because I'm aware that annually that index is put together by leading experts who interrogate, assess, and determine how various brands are impacting the country across different dimensions, and they look at the viability of the brand, the contribution of the brand in different areas. So employment, people liking to work with like I mentioned earlier, many people like to work with NASCO as a destination for employment and career building. So all these variables are considered by these leading experts, top brand experts, and they have come to the conclusion that of the millions of brands that exist in Africa, NASCO is, I think, top 40. I can't remember the exact position now. We're either 46 or so in Africa. In Nigeria, we are also up there, and it's the same set of gentlemen and women who did this assessment. So it's, like I said, a brand that has survived, weathered the storm, continued to impact the way it has, is top of mind in many people's lives, and I'm not surprised. I don't say this to boast. I don't want to boast. I just want to say that the reality of the prevalence in a very positive way of NASCO in the lives of people is of such a character and nature that it is not a surprise that these experts found it indeed a fact that NASCO is a most admired brand in Africa and in Nigeria. And we're very happy to celebrate it. And it's something that speaks the truth about us.
Okay, interesting. So, on the 60th anniversary independence, Nigeria anniversary independence. What is your message? What is NASCO's message to Nigerians? And what should NASCO look forward to seeing? What should the followers, the fans, what should everyone look forward to seeing in Nigeria?
Well, as we well know, our country is going through a lot at the moment. The COVID-19 pandemic has upended life as we know it. It's important that Nigerians acknowledge this truth, this fact that life is not going to be the same again as far as our pre-COVID-19 era is concerned. We must take the protocols for social physical distancing a lot more serious than we're doing. The wearing of face masks, washing of hands, and we must also adjust our lifestyle. One of the challenges we've had as a company, I will say it right out, is how we are, because of the porous nature of our borders before now, some of our products have had to compete with imported substandard products. And these imported substandard products are being powered by resources, financial resources that are to wonder if they're not dubious, because they are able to game the market, they're able to undermine our sales plans by the type of pricing that they introduce into the market. We must, as a country, our 60th anniversary, determine our hearts, families, communities, that the Buy Me in Nigeria slogan is not just a slogan for the lips. Let us support corporate entities like NASCO who are investing here, who are producing, manufacturing here, creating a value chain that is backward and forward across the economic spectrum, providing thousands, hundreds of thousands of jobs, millions of trading and commercial opportunities, because we are producing in Nigeria. I think that on the occasion of our 60th anniversary, we need to send the message that it is when we grow the capacity of our corporates, especially in the manufacturing and productive sectors of the economy, that we can be said to be a nation of greatness indeed. We are a big country. We have a huge population, and that means we can actually develop our capacities for production and manufacturing, and grow employment, minimize unemployment and unemployment, and then be sure that our country can grow even bigger. The important thing that we need to also look at is our universities and our public education institutions, from which many of the corporates take their staff. There is need to rejig it and make sure the graduates who we anxiously await to be part of our growth are actually prepared by the universities in a quality way, so that when they come, they can join us in providing the quality life. Happy Independence Anniversary, Nigeria.
Happy Independence Anniversary to all of us all. Thank you very much, Barrister Harun. Thank you for your time. We appreciate your insights this morning, and we wish you well in Ghana. And we say go out there and have fun and celebrate our togetherness as Nigeria. Thank you so much. So thank you to all of you, our fans who have been watching us thus far.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. In the next 30 minutes, we'll be bringing you another segment which has to do with health, you and your health. We'll be bringing Dr. Fabong Jen Chang. Dr. Fabong Jen Chang is the DG, Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency. He's going to be with us in the next 30 minutes. So we urge every one of you to stay put. Okay, leave your dial with us as we continue to entertain, to educate, and to inform you. And I can assure you that NASCO is here to be with you. NASCO is here to partner with you, and we will continue to celebrate our togetherness as a people and as a nation. Thank you very much for your time this morning. even as I enjoin every one of you to still hang around with us. In the next 30 minutes, we'll be discussing you and your health with a medical practitioner. Thank you very much. Keep your dialogue locked in.
So,
I said for you, if I call you, I need you. That's why I asked you to come.
yes,
No, you didn't call, you didn't tell me you were around. If not, you would have been there, taking your keys that is going on there.
I'm coming there, looking at the door. I noticed you.
Just open the door and I'll tell you what to do. Just go now, go and keep Zip and say, ask. The other will be talking on phone. You are our person. You need money?
No, we are going to now.
Where?
We are going to do this to see how we do it. Then decided said we didn't see the sticker, whatever, that we should look for paper and write.
Why?
Let's piece of paper is okay. We said, and then let's just take a red sheet from office. Do you have your key with you? Yes. Then we said, okay, me and Sam, should we remove some or we should just go with it?
Okay. No problem. No question.
Oh, wow.
They and they what they play. Okay, see. Okay.
I'm supposed to log
Okay,
in.
this is just connected.
I'm supposed to log in.
StreamYard, bro.
Yeah, you guys are on now. You are live on our Facebook and
No, you have sent the man a link.
it's Lucky Star.
It wasn't touching.
You've not started. Let's go. Should I connect you guys now? Should I connect you guys now? So should we connect you now? Or no problem. Please give it to the camera person. Give it to the. Hello? Should I connect them? Take it to the camera guy. Should I connect you guys now? No, I am asking. Take it to me. Okay. Okay.
Don't connect. Then don't connect. You don't connect.
Nigeria wow. Yeah, you know how to do this. Everybody in Nigeria.
Camera is on. There's no problem with the camera. It's connected. No, if I say, see, if I say, I interrupt the channel. Wait, make a for now. welcome. Enjoy that one. NASCO celebrates independence. Nigeria at 16. NASCO celebrates with the high of Nigeria.
Makers of conflicts, makers of biscuits, makers of detergents. NASCO celebrates Nigeria at 60. Lucky Stars Band, we celebrate Nigeria at 60. Happy Independence. Hey, NASCO. Nigeria. Nigeria. What are you doing me? Arawa, what are you doing me? Adaria, what are you doing me? Hey! Listen! Malio.
All right, thank you and welcome to every one of you. My name remains Stephen Adetolu, and in the spirit of the season where we are celebrating Togetherness, 60th Diamond Anniversary of Nigeria. We still want to celebrate every one of us, and we believe that we have every cause, every reason to celebrate on this day. In the next couple of minutes, we will bring the medical doctor on board, who will be discussing the Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency. We'll be discussing the insight around this scheme and how you and I stand to benefit, or will stand to benefit in this new scheme. So we'll bring in the medical doctor any moment from now. Hello. Yes. Yes, please. Are you our Oh, okay. Let me send you. Tell them to stop. 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 We're going for the interview now. Tell them to stop. Tell them to stop. We're going for the. Okay. I will call you after 1 hour, immediately after the interview. I will call you. Yes. So just tell them to be ready in the next 30 to 45 minutes. To be ready by 10:45. I'll call you. 10:45. 10:45. Okay, 11:45 also. Thank you. 11:45. Yeah. Thanks, Rob. Dr. Fabong is already here with us. I'll just add Dr. Fabong to the studio now. Yeah, welcome, Doctor. How are you doing? Happy Independence.
Happy Independence to you. Thank you.
Good to see you, Doctor.
Thank you.
On the studio now is Dr. Fabong Jen-Chan. Did I get the name correctly, sir? Dr. Fabong Jen-Chan.
Hi.
Okay. So, you're welcome on board, Doctor.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will be looking at Dr. Fabong, DG, Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency. And during this session, Dr. Fabong will be giving us an insight into what the Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management is all about and how it benefits you and I, and how you and I can take advantage, or what is in need for you and I, like we will say. So, Doctor, once again, you are welcome. So this program is streamed across our social media handle, Facebook and YouTube to be precise, and it's going to be recorded, and we're going to replay it over and over just to ensure that this awareness goes everywhere. So, Doctor, what is the Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency all about?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me?
Thank you, sir. State Social Health Insurance Scheme.
Okay.
And the agency was. Can you hear?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Can you hear me?
I didn't hear what you said. Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, but can you hear me now?
Better. It's much better. Yes, I can hear you. Much better now.
I said that. Okay, I said the Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency is the state social health scheme. The Right Honorable Dr. Simon Bako Lalong, that's the Executive Governor of Plateau State, signed the bill into law in saddle with the responsibility of achieving universal health coverage for all residents on the plateau, irrespective of their socio-economic status, at a cost that is affordable and equitably distributable to all. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. The network seems to be fluctuating.
Okay, so can you hear me better now?
Yeah,
can you hear me better now?
Okay.
Okay.
We seem to have two open, so okay, let me see.
I think this network is best.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, the network.
So are we good to go?
Oh, it's still breaking in.
Okay. I do not know, but I'm actually using two, and then the particular, this one has a better network.
Okay.
Yeah. So can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So should
Just
I go ahead?
Let me hear if you.
Hello.
Okay, I think this is much. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Hello, I can hear you. Please go ahead. Oh.
Hello.
Okay, I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency was established June last year by His Excellency the Right Honorable Dr. Simon Bako Lalong, and the agency is saddled with the responsibility of seeing through the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals of achieving universal health coverage to all residents on the plateau, irrespective of their socio-economic status, at a cost that is affordable and equitably distributed to all on the plateau. So that's what the State Social Health Insurance Scheme is all about. Can you hear me? Oh, this network is poor.
I think the
Hello.
network seems to be fluctuating. Oh.
Hello.
Fluctuating. Mission. I think the network is really, really bad today.
Or should we take out the video?
Okay. You think that will help?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think that will help. So can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I said the Plateau State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency was established last year, June to be precise, by His Excellency, the Right Honorable Dr. Simon Bako Lalong, KSGG, that's the Executive Governor of Plateau State. And we are saddled with the responsibility of seeing through the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals of achieving universal health coverage to all residents on the plateau, irrespective of their socio-economic status, at a cost that is affordable. So in summary, it's the biggest safety net that was created. What we do is identify resources, pull these resources into a common pool, and then we share this risk by purchasing from a minimum benefit package of health services so we can cover the majority of people on the plateau.
Okay, it's interesting. Okay, I don't know if you can elaborate more on this. When you say the residents of Plateau, does it have to do with the civil servants? Does it have to do with just indigenes of the Plateau, or what is the scope? What is the coverage?
Actually, the law that was created on the plateau is a little bit at variance with the National Health Insurance Scheme. The National Health Insurance Scheme is a voluntary scheme, but the law on the plateau makes it mandatory for every resident, whether you are citizen, indigene, or whatever. So long as you reside on the plateau, the law makes it mandatory for you to participate in this scheme. And we have 4 pathways through which individuals can participate in the scheme. First pathway is the Plateau State Equity Health Plan that covers for the vulnerable, elderly people over 60, 65 years of age, children under 5 years, pregnant mothers, orphan and vulnerable children that has been verified and registered under the State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development. Then we have plateau residents with some form of mental or physical disabilities, and also importantly, the internally displaced persons. They are covered under the Plateau State Equity Health Plan. And the government make provision of 2% of its consolidated revenue, both from the state and the local government, to cover for this group. This group will pay absolutely nothing to benefit from the services. Then we have the formal sector. The formal sector has people who work in the organized private sector, like you, and then those who work in the state government, like me, and those who work in the local government. And at this level, they pay a token of a contribution, and government pays the chunk of the contribution to make up for the premium. Then we have people in the informal sector. The people in the informal sector are artisans, farmers, motorists, associations, faith-based organizations, community health organizations, and students of tertiary institution. Then we have Plateau City. Hello.
Okay. We lost you when you started with the Plateau State.
I said those who will not belong in the formal sector will fall into the informal sector. I've mentioned those who fall under the informal sector. Yes, exactly. Then I said we have people who will not want to belong to either the formal sector or the informal sector. They will enroll. So are you there?
Yes, we're there. It was all smooth. Yeah. Please go ahead.
So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so there are basically three levels through which people can access care. The primary level, the secondary level, and the tertiary level. Okay. And the scope of coverage is spouse and 4 biological children under the age of 18. Okay. Now, what about Plateau residents who have more than a wife? You can register the wife at an additional cost. What about Plateau residents who have more than 4 children under the age of 18? You can register them at an additional cost. And again, for students who are already 18 years and above, they are covered under the informal sector. And theirs is more flexible and is cheaper because government has extended its hand also to provide subsidy for people in the informal sector.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So for this set of people who are in the informal sector, how does the government? We understand that for those who are in gained employment, I think there's an arrangement where a certain percentage of their income will be deducted, right?
Yes.
Okay, but for those now who are like for those who are farmers who are in the informal sector, how will the government take care of their part of contribution?
Okay, the contribution in the informal sector will have to be made by the people in the informal sector. That is why in most instances, we are not dealing with individuals. We are dealing with communities, we are dealing with organizations, we are dealing with groups. For instance, the tribal association can fall under PIDA. Then the tricyclists can fall under the Tricycle Union of Nigeria, TRON. Motorists can fall under the National Union of Road Transport Workers. Farmers can fall under the All Farmers Association of Nigeria. Market women can fall under the Market Women Association of Nigeria. So we will be dealing at the same time. If the premium is 12,000, for instance, there are people in the informal sector are free to pay 1,000 naira on a monthly basis or 250 naira on a weekly basis. So we make it so flexible so that it reduces those who are in the formal sector are the ones that deductions are made directly from their sources of remunerations. But those in the informal sector, the deductions have been made very flexible, and we prefer to deal with unions, associations, institutions, and the likes that fall under the informal sector.
Interesting, interesting. In fact, this is a very good awareness that you've just brought to the fore, because prior to now, a lot of people would have thought the scheme deals directly with individuals, but it's good enough that we understand that you don't deal with individuals, rather you deal with organized kind of settings. It has to do with a group of farmers, a group of communities, and all of that. So that is an eye opener for a lot of people. Tell us, at the end of the day, what does this agency aim to achieve? I know you said to yes.
Yes. Prior to my appointment as Director General of the agency, I worked in the accident and emergencies. I've worked in the outpatient department. I worked in the inlets through which people get into the hospital. We have seen individuals who have died from a paltry 1,000 naira, some 5,000 naira, some 10,000 naira. When Boris Johnson left the intensive care unit during the pandemic, he said the biggest asset that the British people is that 70% of the expenditure of people come from their pockets, and which is why the quality of health services will depend on how much you have. But if we start this scheme and we implement this scheme, we are pulling all the risks into one place. By that, we are reducing out-of-pocket expenditure. Health services that will cost you 100,000 will basically cost you 5,000 or 10,000 to get. At that, we are bringing all people on the same level, and then we are reducing the suffering of the people. And ultimately, we intend to build a healthy population, which translates into a more economically viable population.
Interesting, interesting. So, in essence, cost savings for the individuals and affordable access to medical care. It means that woman who is a rural farmer can access affordable medical care at very, very reasonable price within this scheme. Thank you very much for this information. So besides cutting down on the cost of medical care, what other function does this agency oversee?
We serve to promote, because when we say universal health coverage, we are talking about promotive, preventive, curative, and rehabilitative health services. We intend to create platforms where we can promote healthy living. We intend to create platforms where we can teach people preventive medicine. We intend to regulate healthcare practices in itself and the cost of healthcare delivery on the plateau. For those who fall under the Plateau Equity Plan, it is very simple. Remember, I said government is giving 2% of its consolidated revenue fund, both at the state and the local government. Yes. And the 2014 National Health Act made provision for the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, and Plateau State is a direct beneficiary of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, which is the initiative of the federal government. And that will also be added into the Plateau Equity Health Plan. People who are truly vulnerable should feel the impact of government, because healthcare is something that is common to rich and poor, educated and uneducated, and it's a fundamental human right. And government has come to that place of understanding that they need to create platforms and templates for people who cannot help themselves to also benefit from that package. It is the biggest safety net that has been created by the Rescue Administration. So we intend, for instance, we are starting with more than 300 private healthcare facilities, and enrollees have the right of choice to their own facilities. And we also did what we call facility readiness assessment, and we have come up with 325 primary healthcare facilities that are public facilities across each of the state wards. We are reducing the time of presentation to hospital. We are bringing healthcare closer to the people than ever imagined.
Interesting. So, I was just going to ask the next question, but you seem to have read my mind. Where the question would have been: is it just restricted to the Plateau state-owned medical services? But you said over 300. Okay.
Yes, the most important stakeholder in this business is the enrollee. And if we say we are bringing equitable health care to the people, they should have the right of to enroll.
Absolutely.
When you click on your ward or your local government, the word comes out. And if you click on your ward, the health facility, all the health facilities that have been accredited and have found to meet the minimum standard to give healthcare will appear. So you will choose a facility of your own choice from either public facilities or private facilities or government facilities. It depends. You make a choice of a facility that you want, and after a waiting period of 30 days, you can start benefiting from the health insurance.
Interesting. So what is the process of enrollment? We didn't get
very brilliant question. For those in the Plateau State Equity Investment, anything to benefit from the services, we have developed a poverty index assessment tool that we will go into communities using either traditional rulers or the religious bodies to identify people who are truly vulnerable. For retirees, their data is there, we can get it easily. For internally displaced persons, we just go to their camps and enroll them. For people in the formal sector, I said we are bringing in the organized private sector under NECA. NECA will provide us with the details of people that are there, and it's a direct enrollment. Same with people at the state and sector. I said, now we have developed 3 platforms through which we can enroll people. Those who have Androids can even enroll themselves.
Okay.
Those who don't have Androids, we have developed an app that we can follow people in the market, on their farms, wherever they are, whether they are internet services or not, we can enroll them and capture them. So we've made in local government areas, ministries, departments, and agencies, and NECA for the organized private sector can tell us points of capture. You send with Tron, Market Women Association, they can designate areas.
Okay.
And it doesn't take time to capture a person. It's not like the data capture that you take 30 minutes before you capture a person. In less than 2 minutes, we can capture a person, print ID card, and give it to him.
Interesting. So, beside Plateau State, are there any other states that are practicing this or adopted this scheme so far?
Yes. The National Health Act of 2014 mandated state to create state social health insurance scheme.
Okay.
Before, the NHIS is just for federal workers and people who will come and say they want some form of insurance. So it's voluntary. But that way, we are not able to cover even 5% of the entire population of the country. So the Goodluck Jonathan administration sponsored a program at the National Health Act of 2014, and then which is the highest decision-making body at the National Council on Health. And then that act was created, particularly subsection 11, that mandates states to create the state social health insurance scheme. Now, the federal government made it in such a way that you cannot benefit from the 1% consolidated revenue fund of the basic healthcare provision fund if you have not created the agency. So most states have created the state social health insurance agency so we can meet up with the mandate of achieving universal health coverage.
Interesting. Interesting. So, what has been the success level so far? Compliance success level. What will be your assessment?
It's so tremendous far, and it's amazing. When we started, we thought that it was going to be very slow, but the political will that has been demonstrated by state governors, particularly His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, the Right Honorable Dr. Simon Bako Lalong, is amazing. It's giving us all the templates. As a matter of fact, government has gone ahead to commit its own resources as part of deductions, which is why we have embarked on a massive orientation of the people and informing the people to seize the opportunity of enrolling under this scheme, since government is not just paying lip service. Government has committed itself and is committed its resources to subsidizing healthcare for our people. Some other states are equally doing well.
Interesting. Thank you very much for this enlightenment. I think at this point I will just ask, what will be your call to residents on the plateau with regards to this scheme?
The social health insurance scheme is not for anybody of any political party. It's not for anybody for other tribes. It is irrespective of your affiliations, whether religious, tribal, or political, which is why it was made a state thing for every resident. Our appeal is that the people of Plateau State should seize the opportunity to demonstrate their willingness to participate from this big safety net that has been created by government. And if you heard His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State, he was appealing that if there is anything the rescue administration will do for the people, is to give them universal health coverage. And the rescue administration has committed, and the rescue administration understand that building a healthy population translate into an economically viable population. And again, there's a direct link between achieving peace and a healthy population. There's a direct link between food security and a healthy population. So government is doing everything within its powers to address their willingness to participate in this scheme by availing themselves. The good news is that in other states, the informal sector is the hard to reach, but here on the plateau, the informal sector is the one that is asking us to come and start recruiting their people, which is an indication that people have hearkened to the clarion call by His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Plateau State. And we will not stop there. We will make sure that we continue to carry this good news to the nooks and crannies of the plateau so that we can achieve the business of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals mission of achieving universal health coverage.
Thank you very much. And people, you have heard, Doctor. The government has made healthcare very, 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 very cheap and affordable to anyone, not just restricted to those who work. Okay, yeah, as long as you belong to a member of any society, you are entitled to participate in this scheme. Now, one last question on this Plateau State Contributory Health Management Agency scheme. So somebody has heard us, or he's going to listen to this. How can he join? How can he reach you? How can he get to your office? How does he go about, meeting anyone to lead him into this scheme?
Number one, we have liaison offices in the 17 local government areas. Okay. And number two, our office is found at number 53 Hospital Place, behind Plateau State Specialist Hospital.
Okay.
And that call line is 0700 Plateau. 0700 Plateau. You can call at any. Our lines are open 24 hours. And then you can get adequate information. We've also produced more than 100,000 enrollee handbooks that we are going to give organizations, associations, churches, mosques, so that residents on the plateau can read and get an amazing information on what the state social health insurance scheme is all about.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Doctor. I think the number Doctor just called is scrolling down now. It's scrolling on your. Yeah. Yes. Anybody who is going to see this or who is watching us right now can just write out this number and get in touch with the office. It's very, very important. Doctor, thank you very much so far for your time. And we like the fact that you said health is related to food security, health is related to even our well-being. So which is why we're going to take one or two questions. We can see one question, especially that has to do with everyday health related issues. Now, let me ask you this question. What is the status of COVID?
Yes.
What is the status of COVID as of today in Nigeria?
Well, the truth is that Nigeria has done exceedingly well by combating the pandemic. What the World Health Organization and health expert has envisaged didn't happen. Citizens have demonstrated to a certain level responsible citizenship, and the government has been very proactive. Even in Lagos, where we had multiple cases of COVID, the rate of new infection is on the decrease. Reason being that either the people have developed herd immunity or that people are adhering to those standard precautions that were laid out by government and health experts. Here on the plateau, the one reason why you see the number of COVID cases active, the state government had made it mandatory for all civil servants to test. And if we have any area where COVID has been found, it is mandatory for the entire neighborhood to test. To that extent, we are getting more and more. And it is good, so that we do not live in the false hope that COVID is gone. And the international community is working hard to secure all the vaccines, and from local people that are working hard, we are seeing a light at the end of the tunnel.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Doctor.
To never be the sans use of faith. Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me, Doctor?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Good. Now, just to allay people's fear and to give us your insight, even as a medical practitioner, at a point, I discovered a lot of people became afraid when Plateau State was declared the epicenter of COVID-19, and a lot of people were asking why, how, and all of that. Can you please shed more light on why? And you could also see a hike in the number of cases at that particular point in time. What was the case at that time? Yes.
Now the truth is, some of these results didn't come as at when due. So some of them are accumulations of results over days and weeks.
Okay.
And they come up overnight, and you see number 50, 100, 200. Finding, as I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
The people also on the plateau have demonstrated responsible citizenship by test. So the cases on the plateau is a case of active case finding. And again, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, but an apparently healthy person can come down with symptoms, and it has, which is why governments have not still opened schools.
Yes.
And then we advise that and meetings, marriages, cultural activities. And then people should constantly wash their hands and use their face masks if they must meet. And again, people should sanitize their hands quite often. So the case on the Plateau is not a cause for testing. And the more people test, the more likelihood that we have more.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you much better now.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it.
In fact, okay. Thank you for the advice. So from the medical doctor, you could hear he has advised us. COVID is still very much with us. He admonishes us. Let's not lose our guide. Continue to use your face masks, continue to use your hand sanitizer, continue to abide by the guidelines as stipulated by our health regulators. Now, doctor, one of the commonest killer disease is hypertension, high blood pressure. Now I want to ask, at what point, so that our listeners understand, even when they are home and all, at what point is one's blood said to be high, for instance?
Sorry?
Okay. Okay, great. I was just going into the next question, which has to do with, I said, high blood pressure. High blood pressure. Can you hear me, doctor?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great. High blood pressure is one of the fastest killer illnesses in our society today. So I was going to ask, for the benefit of those and those that will watch, at what point is one's blood, or is one said to develop high blood pressure?
Well, the standard measurement of blood pressure is 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury.
Okay.
Now, blood pressure is classified, and I assume that people who are following us are not medical people to that extent, so I won't go into the technicalities. Yes. Now, but once your blood pressure has gone to the level of 140 by 90 millimeters of mercury, it is stated that you are hypertensive.
Okay.
Now, but the thing is this, why the disease has been saddled as a silent killer is because people do not present with symptoms like that. From just headache, blurring of vision, a person can collapse.
Yes.
So, it is a silent killer is because you may not even have symptoms. You may present with complications and coma for the first time, or a complication of the disease for the first time. To that extent, it is a silent killer, and then we would ask people to do what we call periodic medical examination, meaning that you are well, but you just go into any healthcare facility and ask for a test. Just routine blood pressure measurement.
Okay.
Then you can be sure that you are on the path to avoiding hypertension, particularly if you have a family history of hypertension or diabetes or any of the metabolic diseases, or that you are overweight by any reason. It is a reason to get into healthcare facilities to test yourself to know whether you are hypertensive or not.
Interesting. Then, doctor, is it restricted to certain age?
No, no,
Okay.
it is not. It is found across all ages. I've seen children who are 6 years and 5 years that are hypertensive. But in most of those instances, they are either kidney diseases that will predispose them to getting hypertension or any of the diseases.
Okay.
But for the elderly, those who are 30 years and above, we could classify theirs as essential because you will not find, in most instances, you will not find any background cause of that disease. But it is not restricted to elderly people alone. It has a widespread distribution.
Interesting. So, doctor mentioned that we should cultivate the habit of regular routine checkup. So, what other way would you advise people to adapt, or habits that they can adapt to avoid? Is it something that is avoidable? Hello, doctor. Can you hear me? Okay, I think we lost the sound with Dr. Fabon. Hello. Hello. We're still waiting for the doctor to join us. Hello, doctor. Can you hear me? We're still waiting for the doctor. I think network has been really terrible. Oh, I think we lost doctor there. Let's give him some time, and we sincerely apologize for any hitch in this transmission. As you are aware, we are streaming live, and when you are live, anything can happen, especially when it has to do with internet connectivity. We've managed to get this far, okay, even with the unstable network. So let's see if doctor can still connect with us for the benefit of those of you who are watching us right now and those who will still watch the recording of this live event. Otherwise, we're still waiting. Okay, the doctor is back. Okay, I can hear you. We lost you at a point, doctor. Uh-oh. Hello? He's still trying to get back to us. Doctor is still trying to. Can you hear me now, doctor? Oh no. The network today has really been terrible. we are sincerely sorry for the hitches experienced thus far. Network has really been unstable, and the doctor is trying everything he can to join us again. Let's see if he's able to connect with us on the studio. Let's see if he's able to connect. As a matter of fact, I can see the doctor is even interfacing between two devices. Just that's to tell you how terrible the network is at this moment. He's still trying to connect with us. Hello, Doc. Oh. Hello, doctor. I can see it's really terrible with the network. Can you hear me, Doc? Oh, at this point, I don't know. Doc, can you hear? Hello? And we were actually climaxing, okay, where the doctor was going to talk about the everyday health challenges, okay? Every one of us is prone to. So the idea. Hello, Doc.
Yeah, Stephen, are we good now?
Yeah, we are good. We are good.
Hello,
we are
Stephen.
good. We are good. I'm with you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
The network is a bit.
Honestly, it's terrible. We understand. Can you hear me now? Okay.
That's very. Yes, sir. Sorry,
Oh,
the network has been bad.
honestly, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. We just have to apologize to those who are watching us right now. Okay. The idea behind this discussion is just so to create that awareness and to enlighten the general public on some of these everyday illnesses, diseases, okay, that are termed silent killers. So the doctor will advise us and conscientize us on what we need to do. So the doctor was actually enlightening us on high blood pressure before the network became unstable. It's really, and you could see the doctor is really trying to connect back with us. Can you hear me, Doc?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, we were. I did ask a question. Are we together, sir?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So we were still talking about high blood pressure, and the question I asked before we lost connection with you was that what are the preventive measures or lifestyle that you would recommend to people watching us right now?
Lily, how are you? So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So the thing is, lifestyle modification is
Exactly.
key for those who are not maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Probably they should increase the level of exercises, what they eat, reduction in the amount of alcohol you take, cessation in smoking, and if you have a family history of that disease, embark on what we call continuous periodic medical examination to get to the root of those issues so that you can avoid the patterns starting with you. So those are basic lifestyle modification principles.
Excellent. All right. So, doctor, for the network has really been stable, and a lot of people seems to be gaining a lot from what we are discussing at this point. But I'm afraid one last question, doctor. Are you still there?
I am.
Okay, great. One last yes. I mean, you discover that a lot of people they work all their lives. And at the end of the day, coming from comments, at the end of the day, when they are 60, when they are 70, you discover that they become open to all sorts of illnesses. And somebody is asking, why is it so?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay, somebody asked a question. He said people dedicate their lives to work, the better part of their lives to work. Okay? And at the end of the day, when they retire at the age of 60, you discover that they become prone to various diseases, high blood pressure in particular. And he said, why is it so? And how can they prevent such? Because retirement is meant to be enjoyed.
Now, people eat all sorts of things and expect that when the engine is slowing down, that the body will interpret it differently. No. They said the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago and the next best time is now. So if you want to enjoy your age after 50 years of age, it is the way you treat your body. You cannot expect your body to respond well when you have overworked it. It's like a car that has been overworked. And you cannot expect the engine to function well when you are not servicing the engine. So lifestyle modification is very important for the future.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor, for your time. And those of you who have followed us thus far, we sincerely apologize that network couldn't allow us. But we want to assure you that we will make it a date with you some other time. Doctor, thank you very much for coming. And I want to ask, Doctor, would you oblige us when next we call on you?
By all means, sir.
Thank
yes,
you.
Sir.
Okay. All right. You heard the doctor. So we will schedule another discussion session with the doctor where we will discuss and take your questions, because for us, our slogan, our tagline states that providing the quality life. We want to see you there in the future, and the doctor has emphasized more on lifestyle modification. Work on your engine, don't overwork your engine, do all that is necessary, because we want you alive in the future. We want to thank every one of you for staying put up until now. Doctor, thank you very immensely for your time. Thank you very much. Hello, doctor. Thank you very much for your time. We just want to bid the doctor farewell. And while we say thank you to every one of you, go out there and enjoy yourselves. Nigeria is 60, and it calls for celebration. By 1 o'clock, we will be at the polo field. We have a lot of activities mapped out for your enjoyment. The governor, for instance, is going to be flagging off the tree planting campaign, okay, sponsored by NASCO. There is also going to be a cycling display by the Red Cycling team at the polo field. There is also going to be Taekwondo demonstration, okay. Doctor mentioned about lifestyle modification and your health. So all this will be coming up immediately after this session, where we will meet at the polo ground. And to cap it all, there's also going to be a polo match by 5 p.m. If the network permits us, we intend to stream it live. So those of you who are watching can still stay glued to us till 5. And by 5:30 to 6, we are also going to be airing a live band. One of the best in Nigeria will be on air with you to entertain you for 1 whole hour, and that will be between the hours of 5:30 to 6:30 thereabout. So we hope to see you then. Doctor, thank you very much for your time and for sharing your thoughts with us. So we will call it a day at this point in time. We will join you again when we get to the polo field, where we will be displaying some other events and activities that we have lined up for you. Thank you, and happy 60th anniversary to all of us. Let's keep celebrating our togetherness. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. I've been your host on this segment, Stephen Ade, to you, and we hope to connect with you again soon. In the meantime, go out there and live healthy. Thank you.